Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Horn Lake Board of Aldermen. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And as always, good government depends on the citizens being involved. So we certainly appreciate you taking your time to come out here to the meeting, observe what's going on, and to make your comments if you wish to. At this time, I would like to ask Alderman Bledsoe to lead us in our invocation.
Please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this city that we have, and thank you for our growth that we're getting all this time, and finally it's coming around to pay off. And be with us, and that we can represent you in the godly manner that you want us to. And remember, yesterday's gone, tomorrow might not come, so act today on Jesus Christ and put him into your heart. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman David Young? And salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Alderman. Thank you, sir. And thank all of y'all. Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein. Here. Alderman Bledsoe. Here. Alderman Geis.
Here.
Alderman Bostic.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Dupree.
Here.
Alderman Young.
Here.
All right, we're all here and we have a quorum. All right, number one, vote on the municipal docket. Do we have a motion, please?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
make a motion to approve the municipal docket.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Alderman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis. Aye. Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Number two is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Bostic.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through T with moving item Q to new business.
Anyone object to moving Q to new business? Anyone? All right, we have a motion by Alderman Bostic. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Klein. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Campbell.
on item B, that amount needs to be changed to $3,856.96. That's the amount of the invoice for that furniture that's in our packet. And I confirm with Ms. Balsamus that that's correct.
All right, sir. Anyone have any questions about that?
$3,856.96.
Anyone have any questions about that? All right, if everyone's corrected their sheet, we can have a roll call, please, Miss Julia.
Alderman Young. Aye. Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Number three is the claims docket. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to approve the claims docket. General Fund, $643,264.05. The Library Fund, $1,805. The Economic Development Fund, $11,457.71. The Utility Fund, $176,391.39, for a total docket of $832,918.15.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second? Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Miss Julie.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson. Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, none opposed. All right, we are on number 4 with the Honorable Mr. George Dixon. Mr. George, the floor is yours, sir.
Hold on, please.
Yes, sir.
I got something to show y'all. Something I'd love to see here in the foray out there is this plaque. It's put out by the Shriners, Shriner Hospitals. Every penny we get for these goes directly to the hospital. We don't get any of it at Shriners. We take care of cleft lips, arms, legs. Tommy, you're familiar with it. So is the chief. People, the children, the families don't pay 1 penny. Their hospitalization is paid totally. Wheelchairs, legs, arms, hands, what have you. Had a little girl that a while back that liked to play the piano. They made her a hand to play the piano. Got through that, they made her one to play baseball with too. So what we got here is a plaque that says we gave because we care, and we do. It also shows you that no man stands as tall as when he stoops to help a child. And in return, these right here are $100 each. I'd like to have one hanging out here. The city would vote and buy one, $100. Each year, you have the option to send in another 100 and get these little places, these little dates on there. 8 years of it would be fantastic. So anyway, I'd like for y'all to consider voting for it and getting one, and let's put it out here in the front. Thank you.
I think everyone in this room is familiar with the great work.
Sir?
I think everyone in this room is familiar with the great work that the Shriners Hospitals do and the tremendous commitment Shriners make to fund those hospitals. How many hospitals are there now?
I don't know exactly. I know we opened up this year 23 clinics all around the world. As far as how many, I hadn't kept up with. I'm not that educated.
Yes, you are.
But we work for them. I don't think we can do enough for them. And them little kids appreciate it. So I'd like to see y'all have us get one of these and put it up out here.
Mr. Campbell, is that within the authority of this board if they so wish?
Yes, sir.
Mayor,
Alderman Young.
I'd like to make the motion, we go ahead and proceed with this and continue it until all 8 years are completed at $100 per year.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Young. We have a second by Alderman Bledsoe. Mr. Campbell, can this board commit themselves to 8 years since it'll be new terms of office next year?
They can, Mr. Mayor, but that authorization that extends beyond this board's term would be voidable at the next, at the option of the next board. So we can make the motion that Alderman Young made, but it would be voidable at the option of the incoming board.
Anyone have any questions about that? All right, we have a motion by Alderman Young. We had a second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Motion carries, 7 in favor, none opposed. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, and thank this. Well, thank you, Mr. George. On behalf of the board and the citizens of Horn Lake. Just from you. Alderman Dupree just sent down and says there, 22 hospitals. 22 hospitals. I guess that's in addition to the clinics. Thank you, Alderman. Thank you.
Huh? 22 of them? Okay. I can't keep up with it.
And I'm sure everyone is familiar with,
Over 3 of them.
I'm sure everyone's familiar with how the Shriners enliven parades and other activities to raise funds for this. All right, letter B, Miss Brandy Broadway. Miss Broadway? Miss Broadway? Well, we can scratch letter B. All right. We're down to number 5, planning. Mr. Andrew, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I just got one case tonight, case 2024-094. This is a final plat. This is a request to approve a final plat to subdivide the parcel at 3821 Nail Road West, land zoned AR, consisting of approximately 5.69 acres into 3 lots by IPD Engineering and Surveying. So here's the singular lot in the center, this house in the middle, and the applicant's just wishing to split that up into 3 lots similar to the rest of the area. This is
Where's Nail Road on that, please, sir?
I'm sorry?
Where's Nail Road?
To the north, kind of going right there at the top of that.
Thank you,
image.
sir.
Yes, sir. Next slide, please. And this is just showing that it's all zoned AR. Next slide. So I did a little screenshot of a zoomed in part of that plat. That singular lot there is just being split into those 3 long rectangles. So the depth of each lot will be 620 feet. The width of the lots will be 130 feet on the left, 140 feet in the middle, and 130 feet on the right of that image there. And so the parcel in the center would contain the house, and with the house remaining in that center parcel, it will still conform to all the setback requirements. And then if the applicant were to put a house in the center of those other lots, it would still conform to all of the required setbacks. Next slide, please. And so I just included a chart there showing where those setback requirements come from. This is straight from the ordinance. Each lot would still be 1 acre or over 1 acre, which is the minimum required in an AR, and then it'll still conform to the side setbacks, front setbacks, and rear setback. Front setback of 50 feet, rear setback of 40 feet, and side setback of 20 feet per side. Next slide, please. And so I can kind of just zoom through all these right here. These are all the easements I was talking about. If you were to put a house in the center, it would conform to that. Next slide. No new streets were proposed on this particular plat, so there was nothing to review as far as that goes. Same with that slide. And then that's it there. This was a really straightforward plat. Typically the goal of reviewing these is to make sure that we're not approving really strange shapes, strange dimensions. All the easements were put in there, the setbacks were considered, and ingress, egress is considered, lot proportions were considered, so this one seemed to be a very appropriate subdivision. And that's the presentation.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone have any questions?
Mayor,
Alderman Young.
you made the comment that the easements on each side had to be 20 foot. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. Julie, would you go back to the original plat where it shows all the properties? going, keep on, the overview, keep going, one more, right there. Now, I'm not right there, if you look at the one in the middle, you have one till on one side and one till on the other, whatever. Right there in the middle, I can't see that address, looks like 3645 to me. Is that 20 foot off that easement?
Are you talking about the one we're talking about tonight, 3821 Center?
That one right there.
Uh,
20 foot off the easement? Or is this a fence, or is this a house, or what is this right here?
That's next door to the property we're considering tonight.
What now?
That's next door. The one we're looking at tonight's 3821.
3645.
Yes, sir.
There's a red line that's going right here.
Yes, sir. That's
What is this?
that's the property line.
Looks like that's 20 foot right there. Between property lines. Easement.
It may not be, but we're not looking at what's going on next door.
Is that not part of the product?
So we're
Property line?
just subdividing 3821 for this consideration. So
Subdividing which ones?
where it says Horn Lake and Blue,
These over here?
just that where it says right there.
You're subdividing this into three.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is gonna be one right here.
Yes, sir.
That gonna be 20 foot off that driveway?
Yes, sir. So basically, those corrections will be made after, when they go to develop it, they will make the correction, and the planning department's gonna make sure that all the inspections are done properly, the site plan's gonna be done properly. What we're doing right now is just the platting of it for the property.
But what I'm asking, if you got a driveway right here, you got this driveway, and you're telling me they're gonna be how wide? 130 foot? Is that right?
Yes, sir. 130, 140, 130.
I'm not a mathematician to buy any, but that don't look like 130 foot right there to me, especially if this right here is gonna be divided into 130 foot sections. Something's going to change here.
I mean, these were the dimensions on the papers, and it
Well, you put anything.
it added
I'm
up.
asking you, is it 20 foot off the property line where these are gonna be situated, and how is that driveway gonna be developed in there?
I mean, these are things that we will tackle when it comes time to propose the
Don't
driveways.
approve it so we can figure out what's in it.
Right.
No, sir. I'm not for it until we get all the answers. That's me.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I ask, the property line is not the edge of the tree, the property line is the red line through the trees, that's correct?
That's correct.
Anyone else have any comments? Alderman Dupree.
How many houses are proposed?
Two, one for each of the new lots created, so it would only create 2 more lots.
Where I think Alderman Young was getting at is over in Nicole's place. Yeah, it was in Nicole's place. If you go to those houses, I mean, they're like this far apart. How can they get away with building houses so close together when in the paperwork it says it has to be 20 foot apart?
I mean, I don't know how the ones before, what the review process was for those ones before, but this is all based on zoning, and, you know, it's just based off the zoning chart, so, I don't remember what zones they were, but this, I mean, I can answer for this right here, this is AR, so, well, actually, we do have that zoning chart in there, so.
These are AR, aren't they?
Yeah, every zone has its own setback regulations. I mean, it ranges from 50, 40, 30, 25.
Alderman Young.
Chief, fire chief. Where's the fire department stand on it being that close? What does 18 say on that?
We're gonna have to see the plot of the house when they put it in there. I don't know if they'll all be side by side, because that's a long lot. Somebody's gonna go to the back and build, somebody's gonna go to the front. The one is kinda in the middle, so I don't know where all of them would have to have their own separate driveways. And they would all have to come back and show that to the planning department to go through that. So all that would be discussed at that time. So, like I said, the one driveway you got, that's probably gonna be for the one lot, and then the other driveway's gonna have to come in, they'll have to build all that. Unless they gonna do a shared driveway and make a circle driveway through there, but I guess to see that, you'd have to see the plans for the house, but all of the lots, they should be a setback of 20 feet off of the property line. That's what the setback's gonna be for them. The one you was looking at on the other one, just to answer that over there, I think that's like a covered shed or a place they park.
Yeah, it could.
That's not a structure per se, it may just be a garage they park their cars or something in.
Mr. Andrew, just to be clear, I'm not against this. I just need, well, I think, me personally, I need some more answers to understand what, like Chief says, one going back, one going up, you know.
Yeah, I totally understand. You know, I had initially asked about the general purpose of this subdivision to the applicant a while ago, and, you know, all I needed to make sure for the purposes of this case was, is it just gonna be like houses like the rest of the street? And as far as the platting process goes, you know, we envision this just like any other subdivision that comes in. They come in, take a big piece of land, they subdivide it, and then after that, after it's subdivided, we then get the house plans, we then get the driveway plans. In all these other cases, that's just the typical order of operations.
Yeah, I got all that. I'm just trying to figure out where the houses are gonna be, because if the one in the middle stays where it does, something just paints a picture that there's gonna be a single wide, double wide, or single wide trailer right down on that little skinny piece there somewhere. And I don't, you know, the neighbors, I don't, you know, I just think we need some more clarification on how this is gonna work out before we say, yeah, you can divide three things. That's just me on it. I just got, there's some unanswered questions I'd like to see.
When they come back with a site plan, would that answer questions of Alderman Young?
Yes, sir, that would certainly help.
Okay. Alderman Bledsoe.
Just because we okay it tonight, they can't build anything until we look at the other stuff. Just because you say they can divide the lot. We got, when they come in, he's gonna tell them, you gotta be 20 feet here, 20 feet here, and 20 feet there. So when it comes back, then that's when we do all that. So.
Alderman Young.
I understand every inch of that. My point is, and hopefully you understand, there's no way you're gonna have 130 feet from that existing house to that property line. And that's what the proposal of the lot's gonna be, is 130 foot wide from front to back. There is no cornbread hell way that's gonna be 130 foot between that house and that. So why would we approve something and say, yeah, it's okay, when we're sitting here looking and know better that it's not gonna happen? That's my point. If we get the answers to it, he may only be able to put two houses in there, that one and one more. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that we need to, I don't like the fact of voting and approving something that I don't know the answers on. I understand the process, sir, completely, got it, understand. But I don't see it the way it's mapped out at 130, that ain't gonna happen on that piece of property unless you move that whole house.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Campbell.
the engineer for the project is in attendance if the board would like to quiz him.
Oh, would the board like to, I didn't know they were here. Please, if you would you come forward and give your name and address to Miss Julie, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Chance Walker, IPD Engineering, 8180 Airways, South Haven.
So, excuse me just a moment. Did you get that, Miss Julie?
Speak up just a little bit.
Did you get the name and address?
Chance Walker, IPD Engineering, 8180 Airways Boulevard, South Haven, Mississippi. What I can do is overlay, we do have the house, the foundation surveyed, and I can overlay that in the middle lot. It does land on the western side of that middle lot, still within the easements and within the setbacks. It's not shown on the plat, but it is in the middle lot. And the two houses that are going to be proposed to be built will also abide by the setbacks and easements. I don't know the size of the houses, the widths, the lengths. Each lot will have their own ingress, egress easement. That existing drive, we do show that drive being an existing ingress, egress easement on the western lot. But for clarification, if it's needed, it won't be on the plat, but I can show a site plan with the house overlaid on it to show that it does meet the requirements. It does. We have it, I just don't have it with me today.
Yes, sir.
What you're telling me is what I'm looking at right there, from that house to that tree line is 130 feet.
Yes, sir. Now, I can't vouch for the GIS system. It's used, we use it as a visual representation. It's not an accurate
How about
survey.
a tape measure? From that house to that fence is not 130 foot.
I believe so. The property line's inside those trees.
Even if
It's on
it
the
is,
outside, isn't it?
even if it's on the other side of the trees. Now, if you look at the other side of that house, from that house over to there, and you take the 20 foot, I would say that would be 130 foot. I would be very interested in seeing your correct overlay before I vote on this, make a yeah. I just don't see it, because if you look at the red line coming down through, this tree split it in half, right?
No, I fully understand what you're saying, and I can show that.
I'm not opposed to doing this.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see a row of double wide down through there.
All right, it's two family members that are coming in, and again, I don't know what houses they're gonna be building. We don't typically do residential site plans, but I can overlay, we have the foundation survey of that house, and we have it overlaid. I just don't have it with me.
Mr. Ben, or maybe Mr. Box, is that on our water and our sewer, or is that septic tank and well?
This is the house we do have a water main out, that house runs on Dale Road right out there. Now, I don't know, some people have hooked up to it, some aren't.
So, okay, thank you.
I couldn't tell you whether or not there is no sewer for that house.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Hey, Mayor. Alderman Johnson.
Mr. Andrew, can you clear up exactly what you're asking of us tonight?
Just an approval to turn this one lot into 3 lots. And get for the final plat to be recorded with the county.
Alderman Klein.
Now, the red line that's on there, is that generated by the GIS?
Yes, sir. This is a screenshot from DeSoto County GIS.
And the GIS, you can actually, it is very accurate. You can go on there and you can get a quick measurement from that house to there, just online, just that quick. And I'm sure, did y'all check that? That would answer the question real quick.
I remember measuring this, but I did not have it documented that I went and measured it. And, what I was going by was the plat that we received. And, I looked at this plat and made sure all these measurements added up. And that's what we were going by.
And then I guess the engineer,
I'm sorry?
I guess where you come up with the measure, did you go out there and physically measure it?
Yes, sir, this is
or
an actual survey, yes.
You surveyed it?
Yes, sir, this is accurate. And maybe to help more visual representation, that that existing ingress egress easement you see coming off of Nail, that eastern line of where it starts, the ER of that eastern line, offset that 130 feet, is that found iron pin on the west. So the eastern line of that ingress egress easement at the ER, offset at 130 feet, is a found iron pin. And I mean, just for visual representation, if you can imagine a line going straight down, it adds up, but I mean, I'm more than happy to bring in, I mean, it overlaid on this plat to show. I don't have the,
Yeah, show the plat.
And while we've been sitting here, I've logged on to DeSoto County GIS to use the measurement tool, and it adds up to 400 feet. On the plat, it's 130 plus 140 plus 130, and then on DeSoto County GIS here on my phone, where I'm using the measurement tool, property line to property line, that comes out to 400 feet. So it matches with
what
the
he's
plat
saying.
that we got submitted here.
That's awesome, thanks.
And maybe the driveway, maybe the driveway's messed me up where it's coming down through there or something. I mean, I know that can be moved, I understand it, but I just think I would feel more comfortable seeing the big picture. Because that, just like Alderman Klein said, I mean, you can take that thing and worm that out, which is what we probably should have had tonight, especially since we're doing it. I just got some questions I'd like to have answered, that's all. I'm not against doing it.
no, it's, I
I just
completely
like to have
understand.
those questions, where the 130 foot's gonna be by tape measure.
Right.
And, you know, that, call me a redneck if you want to, but it's just,
No, I fully understand
those
that.
folks out there don't want a community out
Right.
there, single wise, double wise. I
No,
mean, I'm
I-
not saying these folks are gonna do that, I'm just saying,
Right.
we gotta look at everything, all angles. of this thing.
I fully understand. That existing house is, but it complies with the 20-foot setback of that middle lot. I mean, it's not out, you know, within the set, it's abiding by the center lot requirements as well.
The reason I'm asking this question, because I went out there and looked at it today, is the reason I asked the questions I'm asking.
Anyone else? All right. We don't have a motion yet. I had to ask Mr. Campbell to remind me. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
All right, Alderman Klein.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for the final plat to subdivide the parcel at 3821 Nail Road West, the land zone AR, consisting of approximately 5.69 acres into 3 lots by IPD engineer and surveying. I'm very comfortable with the measurements, and I know that you'll be having to go through before you build to make sure that everything falls into criteria. So I'm very comfortable with making that motion.
We have a motion by Alderman Klein. Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Alderman Johnson. Is there any more discussion? Alderman Geis.
Are you just asking for him to provide the overlay so you can see it?
Yeah, I went out there and looked at it, it's not 130 feet. Yeah, I want to see what it's not 130 feet over there. And there again, maybe the driveway is what's messed me up. I don't have the tool right now to do what I need to do. But yeah, I just need to see everything, and we just need to make sure it's 130 feet. You still got 10 foot in there, you know, of easement that you've got to have. And now, that brings it down. I just got some questions that I think we just need to see more than what we're seeing.
I've got a question for the engineer.
Yes, please.
If we delay this to the next meeting for you to come and provide that, is that gonna mess up this project at all?
Not to my knowledge, no, sir. I don't know when they plan to build.
Just delay it a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, and again, from that existing house in the middle lot abides by the 20-foot setback and will be a 40-foot separation minimum between the houses, as shown on the plat. But if we were to delay to the next meeting so I could show that it wouldn't.
Yes, I would hope if I had a question that somebody could answer, that the rest of the board would be willing to delay a non-pressing issue until he could be provided this information that he wants.
Anything else, Alderman? Any more discussion? We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, please, Ms. Julie.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Goddard.
Nay.
Alderman Mosley.
Absent.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Nay.
Alderman Young.
Nay.
Well, I get to vote. Aye. Motion carries 4 in favor, 3 opposed.
Thank you.
All right, moving down to 6, new business. All right, next one's resolution to clean private property, public hearing, which I now declare open. Before we go any further, there's one piece of property on there, gentlemen, 5495, is that the correct number? Because I don't have my sheet here with the numbers on it. Yeah, 5495 Cohey. There's a little question on the zoning of that from way back. So I would respectfully ask the board to please, let's just take that off until we can clear up about the zoning matter from way, way back in the 80s. Does anyone object to that? All right, now, we have the rest of the properties on there. Is there anyone to speak yea or nay, or any questions or comments on any of the properties on this list? That being the case, public hearing is now closed. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Bostic.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution for cleaning the private property of the addresses listed.
We're scratching off 54.
Scratching off Cohade Road.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion by Alderman Bostic. Do we have a second? Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Goddard.
Aye.
Alderman Mosley.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Is Miss Broadway here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we passed you. You weren't here when we started with the agenda. But if the members of the board would like to go back to hear your presentation or request, that would be their decision, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Good. What's the feeling of the board? Everybody all right with that? Ms. Broadway, if you take the center stage, please, and give Ms. Julie your, I think she probably knows your name and address. You got it? Okay.
Good afternoon. I apologize to the board for my tardiness. I was attending the board meeting down in Walls this evening, so I do apologize for my.
Where, ma'am?
I was attending the board meeting down in Walls, so I stayed over a little longer there than I expected. So I do apologize for my tardiness, but I do appreciate your willingness to hear me at this moment. My name is Brandy Broadway. I'm here on behalf of Molina Healthcare of Mississippi. We are a insured company, managed care insurance company. We provide Medicaid and CHIP benefits for citizens of Mississippi. We also offer marketplace benefits as well. I'm here tonight because we have 3 mobile medical units that we currently provide medical care and resources for citizens of Mississippi. If you look at the printout that's provided on the projector, it gives you a brief overview of what our mobile unit and RV has done between June of 2022 through August 2023. Our mobile RV has serviced Mississippi statewide. We've had a total of 43 events. Members and community served has been approximately 64,000. in that we partner with over 60 entities within the state. With our pop-up health centers, we've serviced approximately 60,000 Molina members. We've had 45 clinic and event days, and we've served approximately 2,500 members and partnered with over 60 partners. With our mobile RV and pop-up center, we provided education and outreach support of HEDIS measures, including wellness visits, asthma, weight assessment, immunization, blood pressure control, prenatal and breastfeeding support. When it comes to closing gaps, our mobile unit and pop-up research help center closed gaps between March 23rd of 23 through August 24th of 23. With our wellness child visits, we scheduled at our Greenville Pop-Up Center. There were 20 clinic days from March 23rd of 23 to August 18th of that year. At the Jonestown Pop-Up Clinic, we had 10 clinic days starting from April of that year to July of that year. With our mobile RV in Clarksdale, we had 2 clinic days, March and August, and in Jonestown, we had 2 clinic days in July and August. If you look at the gap closures that we had, our WCC, which includes weight assessment and counseling for nutrition and activities, we closed 201 gaps. For W30, that includes child welfare visits, and between the first 30 months of life, we closed 20 gaps. WCW, that's child and adolescent well care visit, we closed 93 gaps. In our immunization for an adolescent, we closed 1 gap. Just with our well visits, within our RV, we had 23.3%. Our pop-up centers, we had 73%, 73.2%, and just other visits that includes when we took our RV to places like churches, colleges, universities, and things like that, we closed 4.5%. When we provided community supports, that includes tornado and disaster relief, immunization clinics, community education, community wellness, and maternity support. We serve cities such as Jonestown, Clarksdale, Greenville, Itta Bena, Beaumont, Biloxi, Fires Point, Jackson, Lyons, Petal, and Rolling Fork. What we're asking the city of Horn Lake to do at this time is allow us to place our pop-up center here, one of our mobile pop-up centers here. The dimension of our pop-up center is 28 by 8 by 9 in dimensions. Our pop-up unit is self-sufficient. It has its own bathroom. It has two clinic areas. One we use for an actual room that we do our services in, where nurse practitioner come in and see the members, and then we have another room that we do coaching and things like that. We have a waiting room. It has a bathroom in there. The only thing that actually we need to the city to provide would be the location to place it and an electric source. Within those units, we have a partnership with an outside company, Care Connection. They provide the nurse practitioner that comes along that actually provide the healthcare services to Molina members. That services would be those basic needs, as we stated up there, the wellness visit, blood pressure check, A1C, things like that, where members can come in and have those services taken care of free of charge. We also have our MUPC project. That's where we have outside providers that come in. Those are providers that are not Molina-based. They're just providers within the Horn Lake, North Mississippi area that will come in as long as they take any type of insurance. That may be United Healthcare, Cigna, as long as it's any type of insurance, they could come onto our unit and have those same services done for free of charge. It's no cost to the individual or the city or anything like that. I like to explain our unit as just being a satellite center for members and providers to come in to receive those basic health care needs. We look at it as being taken care of the whole person and just not half of the person. We understand that some individual barriers may just be getting the opportunity to actually have somewhere to go. A lot of times individual, it may be the timing. Mom can't get them to this place because of where it is, or the timing as far as our unit is typically Monday. We're available at the unit Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Right now, we're only having clinic once a week on either a Tuesday or Thursday. Now with the particular unit that I work at, it's either a Tuesday or Thursday, but those nurse practitioners come out and they're there. Typically, they're there until the last patient come in. So even if a mom is scheduled to bring their kid in at 9 and she calls at the last minute and say, hey, I can't come to 3, we're going to stay there because we want to make sure that that member actually get that service, because we understand sometimes mom have those unexpected things, or something comes up, or a mom calls and say, hey, I can't bring them, somebody else has to bring them, but they can't bring them to that time. So we wanted to make sure that we are offering those services and those opportunities for them to come in. As of now, the location that I proposed and asked was for Latimer Park. That park was pretty much chosen because it was one of the parks that had the most footprint in DeSoto County as far as your parks. However, when I spoke with Mr. Coleman, he did state to me that he wasn't comfortable with that. However, I do understand that Horn Lake does have, I think he says 7 or 8 parks in total. So we're not set on just one location. We're willing to work with the city as far as finding a location that fits well for the mobile unit. Our main objective is to make sure that we're able to provide the citizen of Horn Lake and the surrounding areas with the resources. At this point, it's mainly about just making sure that the resources are available for the members of this community. If y'all have any questions or anything, feel free to ask them.
Ms. Broadway, good presentation.
Thank you.
And thank the board for allowing her to come on and speak, now. I am really confused. It says a pop-up, but in a conversation, it wasn't lengthy because I didn't have a chance to speak. A long conversation with Mr. Coleman. This is not like a pop-up tent. This is like a trailer, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's kind of like a drop trailer that's been transformed into a mobile unit. I actually have a picture, but it's on my phone, so it's very small. I do have Mrs. Julia's email. If you all like, I could forward a picture to her showing the full photo of what the unit looks like, so you all can actually get a full visual of it. What it is typically a drop trailer, and it has a hydraulic system on it that it folds up completely just like a can. And on the outside, we have the controls on the outside where we pretty much press a button, the lever opens up, it has an awning out front. Once the awning opens up, it has a door, you walk in, and it has a small sitting area, waiting room type situation. And once you walk in, we have an area where we actually see the patients, and then we also have a sitting area so that if we have case management that come in as well. So if they wanted to come in and if a patient, we can do multiple things at the same time. So we actually have a nurse practitioner on site giving a wellness exam, and we have someone there that's just getting resources from one of us. We're able to do 2 things at the same time and provide privacy for those individuals that's on the mobile unit.
Well, I am old and senile, so I'm totally confused. It's a mobile unit, but it sounds like you're going to set it up like in a permanent place.
It's considered to be a mobile unit because it does have wheels, because it has the capacity to move. So it does not move daily. It is, once it's in place, it's set for whatever we agree, if you all agree that we place it. So it would say, if you all say we like to place it for at least a year, 6 months to a year, if not 2 years. We go for that time span because they give us time to get it set, and then give us an opportunity to actually make, to get a chance to get the individuals in. So it's called mobile mainly because it has has the capacity to be moved. And also because we actually have an RV, so that's why it's considered to be mobile, because it's 3 of them. So it's 2 drop trailers in an RV, and because they all have the capacity to move at any moment is why we consider it to be our mobile unit.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining that to me.
Yes, sir.
And is there any charge to anyone seeking treatment at your facility?
No, sir. Everything is completely free,
Even if they have insurance?
even if they have insurance.
At this time, I know that Mr. Coleman had some questions about it too. Mr. Coleman, would you like to take this opportunity to speak to the board and to Ms. Broadway and to the citizens about your concerns about this, please, sir? And would you please speak in the microphone so we can hear well, because you're down in the well for the board.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Broadway. It was nice meeting you the other day. We had a great conversation, I thought. The services that you provide to the community, I think they're outstanding. It's really good for the community. But I did express my concern to you about being at Latimer. I did not want to have the trailer, a full unit there for a year, because it would take up vital space.
Right.
It would also increase my budget if we had to provide the electric source. I did explain to you that we do have additional parks that maybe could be explored. I still don't know if that would be available, just because a lot of these parks don't have the electrical capacity, to hook up. But other than that, I just, like I said, I didn't want it in Latimer.
Yes, sir, and that's understandable. As far as the electricity goes, I would like to ease your mind on that. Just in our previous location, we did have to provide our own electric source for that. So we did just call out to Entergy, had a light pole placed down, and we actually supplied our own power source. So if that's something that we would need to do, we would have our facilities department within our corporate entity to come in and have that set up. So we would just need to pretty much get understanding, and that will be something that would go pretty much through our facilities department and our legal department. So if we were to get an agreement or approval, that could be something that could be written up in a MOA or whatnot, as into what Molina's is responsible for and what the city of Horn Lake is responsible for. And again, if the electricity is something that we would need to be responsible for, that's definitely something that we could be responsible for taking care of.
Thank you, Ms. Broadway. Have you ever looked at exploring the private sector?
Yes, sir, we have. I think when I spoke with you, the city planner and the mayor once before, when we first did the proposal 2 years ago, back in 2022, that was one of the things that we ran into when I talked to the previous city planner. He was in the process of helping us finding locations. We ran into that a lot of the areas, a lot of the properties that we looked into were private properties, and we found that a lot of the private owners did not want to go into the leasing situations with us. They didn't give an explanation as to why, but that was one of the biggest issues that we had, standstill. And so we found it just with the placement of our units so far. We've had better luck working with the municipality, working with the cities or the counties with getting them placed, but because on the private sector, the private owners haven't been willing to work with us.
Where is the current pop-up trailer? Where is it currently located?
As of now, we actually have a unit that is placed in Greenville, Mississippi. It's on the Washington County Convention Center. It's been placed the longest. It's been there since June of '22. is currently there. I don't know how long it's going to be there. My director and I just had that conversation in Walls. It's been placed there. It's been doing very well since it's been there. We haven't. I'm not in the position to say when it will and when it will leave. Our other unit was placed in Jonestown. We just moved it on June the 7th. It's currently in storage. That is the unit that we're trying to place here in Horn Lake.
And this question might be to Mr. Andrew, planning. Would Ms. Broadway require a transient vendor license for this?
I would have to take a look and see what special requirements there are for nonprofit things. But I don't recall anything like this in particular that, nothing comes to my head right now. But typically, yeah, we always do a transit vendor license. But I'll check, I would have to check on the nonprofit status of that.
If you were approved, Ms. Broadway, when would you want to move in? What month? I mean,
As soon as possible. So whenever we get the approval, that would be a conversation that will be held within our departmental heads as far as when we will be in the position to move, of course, because it would have to go through our corporate office as well and facilities. And so it would be a matter of, once we get the approval, then we would start the process, and then we will be able to work that out with the city as far as when we will be able to move, because of course we understand that we had to do a MOA, with legal and things like that. So however long that process would be.
all right then. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Broadway. I don't have any further questions.
All right, I want to, help me please, ma'am. I want to make sure I understand this correctly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you provide free medical treatment,
Yes, sir.
all right, but you are funded by the state or the federal government?
Molina itself does not provide medical care because we are a insurance company that is governed by the Department of Medicaid. So what we do is we provide the facility. So everything that we provide is free. That's why there's no cost to the city, the individuals that come in or whatnot. When the individual comes in, if they're a Molina member, they will be seen by a third-party company that we work with. It's called Care Connection. They provide the basic wellness exams for the members, Molina members. That's Care Connection. They're basically nurse practitioners. With our MUPC program, that's when we partner with outside providers. So that means we may go to, say, DeSoto Primary, and a nurse practitioner from DeSoto Primary may say, I'm willing to come and work out of Molina Mobile Pop-Up Center and see members out of that unit. She would come with her own MER unit, MER system. Everything would go through them. The only thing they're doing is using our facility. So Molina does not get paid for any of this. No money, we're not receiving any funding or anything. Everything is free when it comes to what Molina is getting paid for. We're just providing the space for it to take place in, if that makes sense.
I appreciate the explanation, although it gets rather complicated as with all government programs, because one thing I've learned is there's no free ride. So somewhere, Molina's having to get money to pay for these trailers and everything.
The trailers and all of that is paid for by Molina, but we don't charge anyone to come on the trailers.
And the staff at Molina has to be paid. I mean, but before we go any further, I know Mr. Drew mentioned to me, and I got to thinking about it, these mobile units would not fit in with what this board and the park department have tried to do with our main park over there.
Okay.
And I know you said something about maybe perhaps there's some other parks that may be suitable, but I was going to ask the board if maybe you would consider hearing her request at a later date, give Mr. Campbell time to check into it. He didn't have as we all know, his daughter got married this weekend, so he hadn't had time to check into a lot of things. There wasn't a lot of information in the packet about your program, and there's certain things he needs to look at. Do we want to have a motion, or do you want to ask Ms. Broadway to come back at a later meeting after Mr. Campbell has time to look at it? Alderman Young.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what you just said right there, Mayor, but there is a couple things that I would like to ask you that may help Mr. Campbell, if that's okay, sir.
Sure, yes, sir.
You say this unit is in Greenville.
Yes, sir.
Why Horn Lake?
Why Horn Lake? Because Horn Lake is one of our highest populated areas that we do have a lot of. We have over 10,000 members that are covered by Molina Insurance in Horn Lake. When we look at our HEDIS measures, we have a lot of children in Horn Lake that are not receiving their wellness exam, that are not getting their immunization for school. So they're not hitting the target for when it's time for them to go to school. So we're trying to come here to help the facilities that are here to make sure that those kids are getting those wellness exam, are getting those immunizations, just to make sure that they're getting those exams and those immunizations that are needed for basic health needs.
So you're saying that all the students, we have students in our schools that don't have immunizations and all the stuff required to go to school?
We do. We have some that.
In DeSoto County schools?
In DeSoto County School, yes, sir. I personally work with DeSoto Children's Clinic. I work with the clinic in South Haven and Olive Branch, and they have a clinic in Senatobia, and I work with them. We have a Project 500 project that we do every year, twice a year. Project 500 cohort works with our WCW HEDIS measure, and we do that twice a year, and it works directly here in DeSoto County. I personally work on that project, and every year we have over 100 to 200 kids right here, Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, Hernando, Walls, that are not getting those wellness exams and that are not up to date with their immunizations.
I thought you just said 20,000, okay.
No, I said we service over 10,000 members that are enrolled in Molina.
That's what confused me.
Yeah.
Why just Monday through Friday, 8 to 5?
We have basic work days, work hours, like a normal job.
So do parents and all the other people that need these immunizations. Why not Saturdays?
We do offer health programs on Saturdays. It's on volunteer basis. So if we have an organization that say, because we've partnered with municipalities, churches, schools, if a school say, hey, we want to offer a health event on a Saturday, if we have staffing, because we personally work in a quality department, but we do partner with other departments within Molina. If we can get staffing to say, hey, we'll come out and work in those events, we'll participate on Saturdays. So it's not just, it's just not based to Monday through Friday, but if we have.
About taking care of and I'm just trying to get a picture of this.
Yes, sir.
You got pictures of mothers and fathers going to work or whatever they're doing, but they got it would seem to me that you would need hours afterwards, and you would need Saturday hours for all to take care of all these 20,000 people that you're talking about.
Yes, sir. We also host baby showers and things like that sometimes do take place after hours. Those things are set up again based on our partnership with outside organizations.
All right, now, you said this thing is like a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming like a semi-trailer? Or is it like a mobile home type trailer, or is it a 400 square foot small house? What is this thing?
I have
How much does it weigh?
I have a picture of it.
Okay.
If I can give it to you, you all can pass it
Well,
along.
Just submit that to Mr. Campbell or to Drew or whatever to get to Mr. Campbell, because we're pretty strict on our weight limits around here,
Okay.
especially in the park.
Okay, that's fine. And it does not have to be in the park. It can be in any area
I've
in.
got another thought running through my mind, but I'm gonna let Mr. Campbell do his due.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it does not have to necessarily be in a park. It can be in any, it could be in any area in Horn Lake. We typically, chose parks or a location that has a lot of foot traffic that's open to the public that people just tend to frequent a lot. That's why we, chose a park. Yes,
I'm all
sir.
in on this thing if we can work it out, but
Yes, sir.
I'm sort of going to side on the side of Mr. Drew about the park. We may have to locate somewhere else.
Yes, sir. And I was gonna say, and Drew and I, when I was in his office, we did go to the Molina, page, and we did actually pull up the drop trailer, so he actually did get to see a visual of what the drop trailer looked like, as well as our, RV. We do, just in case it does not go through that the drop trailer is here, we're still willing to bring our RV here and work with the city of Horn Lake to partner with you all, like if you all have any type of events or anything that you all, like the city would like to host, we still are willing to bring our mobile unit here to participate in any type of event. We just wanted to offer the opportunity to bring the drop trailer here, since we do service so many members here within this area.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else, Alderman? No, sir. All right, Alderman Dupree.
I heard you say a lot of foot traffic.
Mhm.
Have you tried the library down the street? There's lots of kids there, in and out, parents in and out, every day.
Again,
You might want to reach out to them and ask them.
Again, I didn't know, I came here and spoke directly with the city planner because I don't know what property is city property, county property, personal property, how we go about placing units on those properties. Most, in the past, when we went to place our units, we typically go to our city officials to find out, hey, what would be the best place to place these units? Typically, working with those city municipalities, we work together to figure out what would be the best place to put those units. In Greenville, we work with them. Their convention center was the best place. In Jonestown, they had a multi-purpose center. They placed it next door to their multi-purpose center because adjacent to the multi-purpose center on the other side, they had a mobile dental clinic. So it was our mobile resource center, a multi-purpose center, and a mobile dental center. And then right in the middle with that multi-purpose center, they have an after-school program. So like you said, they had kids coming in and out. They had a walking trail in the back, so we constantly had individuals walking around that could at any point drive up, walk to the unit, and get those services. Of course, Jonestown is probably a quarter of the size of Horn Lake, so it was easy for anybody to walk by, and it was visible. Greenville is not as big, but so we have to take in consideration the size of the community that we're placing the unit as well.
Do y'all provide insurance in case somebody gets hurt?
Sir?
Do you provide insurance in case somebody gets hurt, going in the trailer, coming off the trailer, in the parking lot, what have you?
Our insurance, our unit we do have just basic insurance, liability insurance on the unit for individual coming in and out of the unit.
Yep. Again, the library has electricity, maybe you could pay them, I don't know. Just a suggestion. They got water, what have you. Someone even said, try Walmart parking lot. There's a huge parking lot out there, lots of traffic. That's all.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Alderman Johnson.
I believe your services are wonderful services to have to
Thank
come
you.
to Horn Lake. We do have a dental lab that comes to my school. With what Mr. Coleman has suggested, though, with, not being, having you in our parks, we definitely should probably look in, finding somewhere. And Mayor actually has a wonderful suggestion.
All right. I asked Ms. Johnson about schools, and I thought Alderman Dupree's comments about the library. I think it's a wonderful program. I just think we need some clarification, and what you're basically doing tonight, Ms. Brandy, you're asking us to place it in the park. Is that correct?
No, sir, I'm asking here, as I just stated, schools, libraries, those places are all entities of Horn Lake. I don't know who they belong to. Do they belong to the city of Horn Lake? Do they belong to DeSoto County? Whom do I approach to get the approval to place the unit? Would that be, do I go to Horn Lake High School? I was gonna say Horn Lake High School is in Horn Lake. So would that be a city of Horn Lake, or would that be, exactly, I don't know. So I'm coming, yeah.
Excuse me, on education, on schools, Ms. Brandy, you would go to the Board of Education.
Okay.
And for the libraries, you would go to the Board of Supervisors in DeSoto County.
Okay.
In DeSoto County. And the reason I was asking you specifically, because the board has to vote.
Okay.
And it's, right now, I really don't know. We're with you, you're just trying to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
We're all just trying to figure it out.
Yes, sir. But I did know with the parks, I had to come here because I knew that the parks was a part of the city, and I had to go through parks and recreation. And again, and then after that, it was, if we couldn't do the parks, I wanted you all to kind of lead me in the direction I need to go, just in case I had to go outside of the parks.
Well, you're
Yes, sir.
exactly right. This is who, for the parks, this is the board you would come before. I don't know whether the board wants to vote. So are you officially making a request tonight to use the park?
No, sir, we're not.
So you would be satisfied with allowing Mr. Campbell time to check into, in case you did want to make a motion to use the park, he could answer your questions? Is that?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay. What is the feeling of, Alderman Klein?
You said you came from a meeting in Walls.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you, if Walls approves you, would you need one in Horn Lake if you had one in Walls? Or would you try to centralize it? I mean, you went to Walls and asked.
Yes, sir,
probably
we
the same
did.
thing,
Yes,
right?
sir, we did. And the purpose of asking Walls was because our main focus is DeSoto County. So if it's in Walls, citizens from Horn Lake, anywhere in DeSoto County, still can drive to Walls. If it's in Horn Lake, they can still drive. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to at least have some footing somewhere. And so if it didn't work out one place, at least we could have some communication somewhere else so that we would know where we needed to go. So it wasn't we favored one place over the other. It was just that we had this conversation 2 years ago with
Yes.
both municipalities, so we wanted to bring it back and offer. And at the time when we first came, we didn't have any data. It was more so everything that we were presenting was a forecast of what we could do.
Okay.
And 2 years later, we actually have data to show, hey, this thing actually works. This actually works. This is a good idea. This is something that every community needs.
Yes.
It's good for the community, good for the citizens. And so that now that we have the data, that we can prove this actually works. We wanted to bring it back and give both municipalities an opportunity to see, what we've done and what can happen if you bring the unit to these areas. So it was just one of those things that we wanted to just bring back and give both towns an opportunity to have an opportunity to see
So-
what the mobile units are doing.
So in short, if you had one, it would serve the
It
whole
would serve,
area.
it would serve the whole area, yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Alderman Young.
Have you talked to any other cities besides Walls?
2 years ago, we did every area, Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch.
What was Olive Branch's and South Haven's decision?
Olive Branch and South Haven decisions is that they wanted to have us as a transit unit, as a transit vendor. Because they wanted to classify us as a transit vendor, they automatically axed us out because we cannot. It was too costly to move that unit every day just because of what comes with having to pack everything up inside of the unit as far as our medical equipment, all of the supplies and stuff, having to pack it up, moving it back and forward. It was too costly to do that. So therefore, that knocked Olive Branch, South Haven, Hernando, it knocked.
Said no.
They didn't say no. We decided not to.
So you didn't talk to South Haven about this?
When we discussed it with them, because of how they were classifying the unit, after we found out that they was classifying us as a transit vendor, we didn't move forward because of financially it didn't make sense for us to move it we couldn't move it every day. The unit doesn't work moving every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alderman Johnson.
Alderman Klein actually said what I was thinking with Walls. And I will say that Walls is a smaller town, and they do not have any medical facilities in that area. So I would hope that they would come through with that, and that would give their community something in the medical profession, as well as, people here, too, would travel there. So that was my thinking.
Right, and we were transparent with both municipalities, both when I spoke with the mayor a couple weeks ago, and when I spoke to the mayor there, I did let both municipalities know, hey, I'm talking to both of you all because I wanted them to know that at the end of the day, we're just trying to bring the resources here. And if, it wasn't one of those things, it was just I wanted everyone to know where we were with trying to get the unit in this area.
Anyone else? Alderman Geis. I'm assuming you mean us. Well, before we looked at the property, if this is all right with the board, I'd like for Mr. Campbell, if you would, to research it, so we would have some guidelines, so we just don't go out and we find a piece, and he said, well, no, that's not suitable. Ms. Broadway said that's not suitable, or Mr. Campbell says that's not meet the federal the guidelines we've got to work in. So if it's all right with the members of the board, let Mr. Campbell come back, if he would. Is that all right with you? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Is that all right with you, Ms. Broadway?
Yes, sir, it is. And if I'm not mistaken, we can possibly have someone come out from our MHI, from our facilities department that does exactly what you said, surveying areas or whatnot. We can have someone come down to make those visits with you all. If prior to that, the unit is actually stored here in Horn Lake in storage. So I can provide my contact information. So if you all want to meet with me, and I can actually take you down to the unit so you can actually physically see how big it is, I can let you all go and do a walk around of the unit to see just exactly what it looks like, if that's okay with you, and if that's okay with you as well.
I think that would be most helpful.
Yeah.
Is that, Alderman Young, is that kind of what you were getting at? You want to see it?
Well, not only, I'm not so concerned to see it because I know the weight. Once I look at it, I know what the weight of it is. I mean, there's some equipment in there, and I'm just sort of worried about our roads, especially in the park. They're not, they won't handle it over 25, 30,000 pounds.
He comes from a trucking family.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Young. And and I'm sorry, Mr. Young, if I can, I'm quite sure I can reach out to the fabricator, and he can probably, just as he provided the dimensions for it, I'm quite sure he can give me the weight for it as well.
That's great, but if you got a trailer like that, it's got a DOT number, and they'll tell me all I need to know.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Judy, do you have contact number? All righty. When Mr. Campbell may need to contact you to ask some questions, will that be appropriate?
Yes, sir. I'm totally open to that. I live right here in Horn Lake, so I'm available, typically Monday through Thursday, unless we're having clinic. And, I typically know that ahead of time. The only time I'm not here in Horn Lake is when I'm actually on the unit, So, yes, sir, he can, call me and let me know, and I can make those, make myself available to meet you all.
Well, thank you for answering the questions.
Yes, sir, and
I
thank
know
you all
we had-
again.
We had a lot of questions, and thank you for being straight up about it.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have anything else? All right, letter B.
And thank you all again for taking the time out to hear me tonight after I was a little tardy. And I appreciate you listening to me, and I look forward to hearing from you all in the near future.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Bowman.
you. Mhm.
Thank you very much. Letter B, Alderman Young, discussion of Blue Star and Gold Star flags to the City Hall Rotunda.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, what this is about is, and I'm very positive everybody knows what White Star and the Gold Star family is. I'm sure of that. I would like to see us, seeing how we've done the beautification of the City Hall and all that out here in the Rotunda, when people walk in, I would like to make the motion that the city purchase and provide the cleanliness and the upkeep of a White Star flag and a Gold Star flag along with an American flag in our Rotunda to celebrate our veterans and our service members that are serving today, and maybe even had a little to do whenever we go to hang them or whatever with ROTC and stuff like that, and maybe bring in Mr. Olin Pickens and some people and let them know that we do appreciate their service to our country, especially with 4th of July coming up and Veterans Day and this different thing. I just think we just need to dress up our Rotunda a little bit, and that would be a good start.
Did you want Blue Star, Gold Star, and the
White
American
Star.
flag, or what?
Yeah, I want the Blue Star, Blue Star, and Gold Star, as well as an American flag. White Star is the one that serve, Blue Star serving now, White Star is over there, and then the Gold Star, of course, is the deceased, so.
So we have a motion by Alderman Young. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Dupree. Do we have any discussion? Any discussion? Alderman Klein.
That's what we'll have to figure out once we approve it.
I'm assuming what the flag will be, probably the size of the Horn Lake flag?
No, they're not near that size, sir. No, sir, they're window-sized flags. They probably won't be much bigger than those tiles right there on the wall.
Oh, you're talking about the ones like people put on their houses?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I've seen those.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They're
Now,
about-
the American
you're
flag,
talking about that flag.
of course, American flag will be prominent. Yeah.
Well, aren't they about like that?
Gotcha.
You can get them all different sizes. You can get them 4 foot long, or you can get them 2 foot long. I mean, it just, any veteran would, yeah, we figured that out. That's not a
Gotcha.
problem.
They can find the right size to fit out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostick.
Aye.
Alderman Guy.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. That's an excellent idea. Letter C, do we want to take a break before we get started on that, or we want to keep rolling?
Mayor,
Sir?
since the director had to leave, I'll just move that to the next agenda.
Oh, okay, thank you, sir. Is everything okay with him, or is everything all right?
He had a call and had 3 injured dogs they had to go try to rescue.
Injured?
Yes, he got a report while he was sitting here.
Oh, that's horrible. Is that all right with the other members of the board? Move that to the July 2nd meeting? All right. Letter D, we're on letter D, ladies and gentlemen. Discussion of a request for speed bumps in Ward 1. Alderman Geis, is that you?
Yes, sir. I know we've had people in the past come up and request speed bumps, and we've been hesitant to put them out. We did put one in my ward back probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it strategically in a location where we were having a lot of people running off the road, running through somebody's yard, almost hitting them. And I've had 3 requests. I was wanting to address one of them now and maybe the other 2 later. When we added and approved Baker's Acres subdivision, and then we approved 2 more subdivisions on the other side, the concern was in the people that, from the residents on Grove Lane. Of course, they were sold their houses and told that the road was never going to go through, which of course we all know didn't happen. Because Mr. Baker passed and then his property was sold and we approved a subdivision there. But on Grove Lane, when you turn off of Holly Ridge and turn right, there's a little cul-de-sac there where all the kids play and hang out. And then that road now extends all the way through to 301. So what's occurring is people are coming off of 301, shooting down that road, hitting through the new subdivision and hitting that small section of Grove Lane that has the cul-de-sac, and it's almost like a drag race down through there. And then they come down Holly Ridge and turn right, and they pick up speed going back the opposite direction. And I've had multiple requests from the people, especially in the old section of Grove Lane, to have one put there to slow down people before we have a child ran over in that area. I've always been hesitant to request these things because we don't want them everywhere throughout the city, but having one there at the section between the new section and the old section right there, I think would probably alleviate that problem. Because I don't want any kids to get ran over in that section.
So it's just through, you don't think putting a stop sign somewhere would help instead of a speed bump?
There's 2 side streets in the new subdivision, but from my years in law enforcement, I've discovered that if someone's willing to do 60 miles per hour through a subdivision, they aren't going to much care if there's a stop sign there as well. That's my thought on it. Especially when it's we're putting a stop sign in an area where only one road is intersecting there, so we're just creating a stop where it naturally wouldn't be. So that's my thought on that.
I know you probably had a lot of pressure about it too, so.
It really worked on that one we approved in that roundabout, that one speed hump. It's not a real sharp bump. It's more of a hump, and it has slowed it down. And in that almost 2 years now, we haven't had someone run over those people's mailbox and into their yard. So, it was effective in accomplishing the goal.
So are you making a motion for the board to approve placing a speed bump at which location?
On Grove Lane, wherever you would think it's appropriate, but I'm thinking where the new road connects the old one, in between the houses there, where it's not in front of somebody's yard, and it would slow them down coming both ways.
We have a motion by Alderman Geist. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Dupree. Is there any discussion? Alderman Bledsoe.
That's fine with me. I don't mind.
As you know, all of you know, that every one of us up here are very concerned about the safety of our citizens. The streets are a playground. If children need to be out of the streets. Unfortunately, the world we live in, it turns into a playground. But, and then I've always been opposed to them, not because they're not needed in places, but because they slow down the response time of emergency vehicles, like the fire department, the ambulances, the police. Chief Pullen, had you been alerted to this speeding problem on that street?
No, sir, I wasn't familiar with the request for these speed bumps. I'm not a fan of speed bumps in general, but I'm not opposed to this location for the argument that's being made. I've not been told of the speeding issue or any of that, though.
All right. Anyone else have the, Alderman Guys?
Wanted to add one more thing.
Oh, sure.
We definitely don't need to have them everywhere, but like in this subdivision here, there are no sidewalks either. It was intentionally designed that way. There's no curves, there's no sidewalks. So when you have citizens walking anywhere, they're actually in the street on this one. And the same thing with the new subdivision. They don't have them there either. So it's, you know, I think when we consider these, we look at the totality, the total circumstances there and what you're trying to accomplish. You know, so, you know, I wouldn't be for them on two-lane road all the way down there because we have speeders. But when you get into these subdivisions where people do walk and you know, I think it's important to consider the safety as well.
Mayor,
All right, Alderman Dupree.
I know where he's talking about. I'm over there every day, twice a day. And what he is talking about is actually factual. I've seen
I believe it.
Yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's very well needed there.
Alderman Johnson.
I have a concern about putting speed bumps there. Because, you know, all of us can have speed bumps in our wards, because I certainly know Dunbarton could use some speed bumps. So there needs to be some criteria if we're going to, you know, begin with speed bumps.
Alderman Young.
Mr. Geis, I understand it. I understand it. Two things. I agree with Mr. Bledsoe. We sat here and a woman worked at Labonna with her child. She was in talking about it, and we voted against it. We voted for stop signs. You know, I need them in Ward 4 so bad, along with M50 caliber machine guns to slow folks down. You want to hear a racetrack somewhere Sunday afternoon. I mean, it's amazing. You can tell when they do their patrols because the racetrack slows. Then when they go down the street, they just pick it back up. I just cannot, in my heart of hearts, we told that lady there no, going down Kentwood. And my God, I agree with that. Kentwood is like a drag strip. It absolutely is. And I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but there's got to be another option to it, because if that woman's kid gets hit because we put in stop sign, but we put a speed bump in your area, I really can't sleep on that at night. I have to stay true to that.
Anyone else? Alderman Guys.
If you recall during that meeting, I brought up that I was for speed bumps in strategic locations just like that. I do not believe those stop signs are going to stop that lady's problem. You know, I just don't, and I didn't then. But the suggestion was stop signs, so I went along with it. You know, for the person that has that ward. So, you know, everybody's going to vote however they're going to vote, and that's just, you know, that's the fact of life here. But in that situation, I think that is the solution there. And not everywhere that is the correct solution. But in that situation, I believe it is. You know, if the board wants to put stop signs down through there to try that first, I'm okay with that too. But I don't think that's going to fix the problem, just like I don't think it's going to fix the one for the lady that had the issue with the schools. That was a solution, but I don't think it's going to fix it.
Alderman Klein.
Question, Chief, do we have something that can record the speed of drivers on the street to where we can do a study?
Yes, sir, we do.
Can we put one, say, on that street and just monitor it, and then the next meeting have a report?
Yes, sir.
Thank
We
you.
do that.
Alderman Bledsoe.
If we do speed bumps, who's gonna be the one making the decision between what street gets it and which one don't? The police chief or?
This
fire
board,
chief?
this
The
board.
board? All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You gotta be consistent.
All right, we've got a motion by Alderman Geis, and we have a second by Alderman Dupree on placing speed bumps at that location. And Alderman Klein came up with the suggestion to monitor the speed there and get a report back from the police chief. So, do y'all want to go ahead and vote on the motion, or do y'all want to consider Alderman Geis?
I'm familiar with the speed trailer, and the purpose of that speed trailer is for people to see that thing and slow you down. We may get some measure of what the speed is down through there, but I don't think it'll be completely accurate. But, whatever the board wants to do to proceed with this and do its due diligence, I'm fine with.
You want to proceed with the vote? Alderman Dupree?
If anyone sees that speed trailer,
Sir?
if anyone sees a speed trailer, they're obviously gonna slow down, so you're not gonna get an accurate count.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second. Is the board ready to proceed with the vote? Ms. Julie, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Nay.
Alderman Bostick.
Aye.
Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Nay.
Alderman Klein.
Nay.
Motion fails 4-3. 4 opposed, 3 in favor. All right, letter E. This ought to be an easy one. Do we have a motion?
Mayor?
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion to reappoint the municipal attorney and approve renewal of contract for services.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Dupree.
would you be willing to take a pay cut?
Oh, God.
His daughter just got married. No.
That was a joke.
I looked up the opposite of inflation. It's called deflation. So when we get a couple of years of that coming down, maybe so.
All right. Let's see, who made the motion? Was Alderman Geis, second by Alderman Bledsoe. Do we have any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bostick.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Young.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Mr. Campbell, I think everybody in the city wants to thank you for agreeing to represent the city another year. You've certainly done an outstanding job, and we appreciate your services. And although at times I think we drive you completely insane. All right, letter Q. We went back to new business, going back to the consent agenda. Alderman Bostic, you had some concerns, sir.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Back on February the 6th, when I think it was Governor Story, is that his last, from the Lions Club, what was it?
Yeah, this is Governor
John
John Story.
Story, I knew it, yeah. He came before us on February the 6th to present to us for an ADA all-accessible playground at Latimer Lakes Park. And what was discussed in that meeting that night that he presented was a 50-50 grant, that the Lions Club would do 50% and we would do 50%. He was very clear on that. The mayor spoke up in that meeting and assured him that it was 50-50 to make sure, and Alderman Klein also did the same thing, and in Alderman Young's motion, he stated it was 50-50. When we got that night, he actually asked, the mayor asked Drew how much he thinks it was going to cost for the ADA, and Drew said $420,000 as an estimate. We got the bid in for $374,500, and I don't think that bid includes the fencing that we, or does it, Drew? Does it include the fence around it and the lights and all of that too?
Yes, sir, that includes
cool.
everything.
All right, cool. But it came in at 374, and then we get on the agenda tonight that the Lion Club is only paying a 30%, so it's a 70-30 split, not a 50-50 of what we approved. And I just want to make sure that we all understand what was on the agenda there. And it's not that any of us don't want an ADA accessible park at the playground. This is just not what the motion was and what we approved to do. And I was suggesting that the Lions Club come up with the other 20% to where it is a 50-50.
Do we have any?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Alderman Young.
Lions Club, once they put the grant in, they only do a matching grant of $100,000 as of last year. He was not aware of that, neither was I. But really, it's $125,000 because we got a $21,000 grant from Multiple District 30. We also got $2,000 from the Lions, Horn Lake Lions, and $2,000 from Boonville. I've been in discussion today with the Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks for the remainder $63,000, which is what the difference would be.
Right.
We're going to be fine in this. We have the funds to do what we need to do with this. Unlike other things that we've done that didn't have the funds, we don't have to borrow any money for this. This is something for our children, and really, $125,000 from an organization to benefit the city of Horn Lake is an amazing feat. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the people that bid it at 400 and something thousand is the number that they gave us, and that's the number we worked off that night. But they came down with $128,000 from what their 400 and something thousand dollars was. They're down to 370, so it's 120 something $1,000. So we got $240,000. We're not. Did you catch that?
I was trying to do the math there.
Well, I know you're not.
No, I was just trying to figure out what that was.
The company that was doing it, that was going to do the bids, originally said $470-something thousand. What was it?
$468.
$468,000. They've now come down to $375,500, which is $100-something thousand. So you got $100-something thousand less from the company, and you've got $100-something, $125 from the line. So we're putting an ADA park for a really cheap pricing. Really cheap. And this is something that the city, in my opinion, should have done a long time ago. And we need to support this. If we have to come up with additional money, because I don't really think we will have to, because I believe that Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, and I've talked to the Lieutenant Governor and 3 other senators today, I think we're going to be okay to get the rest of the money. I think we're going to be fine. We also thought that we had lost that ARPA money, and we were lucky enough with connections and conversations to get that full $700-something thousand. So I don't think this $63,000 or $68,000 difference that we're talking about is really enough to worry about jinxing the park or closing the park or not doing the park. I just think we just move ahead and we don't look the gift horse in the mouth, and we just strive to try to get more grants. That's just my thought on the situation.
Mayor.
Alderman Boston.
Yeah, I was never stating that I wasn't for it. Never, that was never in my statement. All I felt like was we needed to have a discussion from what was discussed in February as to what was just on the agenda for us just to blindly approve. That was the deal. When I know there is other places that we can apply for grants that the Lions Club can work it out, And I'm all for that, and I want to move forward on it. I just, in the future, it would be best to put that in new business with information, like did you provide this with us tonight? See, we didn't have that in our packet.
We didn't have it, well, we didn't have it when we talked about it either.
Right, so it should have been in a new business where we could all discuss and know why it went from 50-50 to 70-30.
Well, and that, I agree, I 100% agree, because I
Right.
had no idea that they had dropped their, usually they did 50% of 100 of 100.
Right.
Whatever it was. You know, I mean, they spent over $1 million between Boonville and Columbus.
Right.
On those. So everybody's feeling an economic pinch, apparently.
Oh, sure.
So it's come down, and I have no problem with the conversation. I'm just saying we've got, the company saved us $100 and something thousand, and they're bringing us $100 and something thousand, and we may not get the rest of the bids, or the grants, excuse me, not the bids, but the grants until next year. But I still think we need to move forward on the project for our people, and put the money in there when it comes in. I mean, we got the cash.
Right, oh, I never doubted that. I just want to make sure we had a full discussion, everybody understood. And while we were on that subject, Mayor, I would like to present a conversation maybe for the next meeting, when it comes budget time, of getting us a grant writer for the city of Horn Lake.
I'm in.
That's full-time and maybe works on commission. There's too many grants out there on a state level, on a federal level that could be applied for, that we're missing out on way too much, that could help us out with a lot of these projects. So I'd like to put that on there for discussion, maybe
Okay.
for our budget.
We can do that, but right now, the motion is about,
Oh, I understand, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
you're getting off.
we were talking about the grant
but
stuff,
then
I
if
just
you
didn't
wanna
want to
come
forget
back
that.
with the grant thing,
That's
that'd be
fine.
fine, but right now, we're dealing with letter Q. and
Sure.
With your permission, let's go on and settle that, then,
Q.
because I agree with you 100% about needing a grant writer.
Okay.
We've got, I'll make my remarks when we get to it, I'll be out of line. Do we have a motion? We don't have any kind of a motion for letter Q, do we?
Tommy wanted to talk.
All right,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
You said years ago we should have done it. Back then, we didn't have money, or we would have done it back then. We had Wooten Willow Park, that was it. And I had to cut the grass with my own lawnmower, so we would have done it because we did have the first handicap baseball team or softball team. We had the first one around here, Field of Dreams, and then when they built the, what do you call them? The great big field at Snowden. Most of our folks went there. We had people coming from Collierville and all around coming here to play ball with our kids. And our kids, Jackie was in the program then, they would get out there, the players would be, each one of them have a player, and they'd get out there and play with each other. And this is well needed. A long time ago, I agree. Any money we get is appreciated, and I think the kids will enjoy it, you know. 'Cause we barely had enough to buy, you know, just get playground equipment.
Yes, sir. I remember those days.
That's all I got to say.
I remember those days. Alderman Klein.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Wilco Services for $374,500, and thank the Lions Club for $125,000 and any more that we can come up with.
We have a motion by Alderman Klein. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Young. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Guys. Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. If I understand correctly, Alderman Bostic, on the next agenda, you'd like to have a discussion about hiring a grant writer. Not just really hiring, but contracting with one. All right, y'all want to take a break? Stand up a minute, I got to stand up. Sir?
I was gonna comment on his.
Yes, sir.
Just real quick, we had a grant writer, she paid for herself many, many times over, and then she got promoted, and then we didn't have the money to buy another one, or get another one. So, they will pay for themselves many times over, so.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's all.
All right, if y'all excuse us, we're going to take a 10-minute break. You ready?
Yeah.
We're back, for better or for worse. Thank you for your patience. All right. The next item on the agenda is citizens' remarks. And please remember, there's a strict 3-minute time limit on this. The board does not make motions on any comments made. They're here tonight strictly to hear your concerns. If there's any that need to be addressed later, they will be placed on the agenda. You will have to notify us that you want to place them on the agenda. But please, when your 3 minutes is up, have courtesy for everyone. And your 3 minutes is up, sit down, please. All right, Mr. Grant, you're up. Can you be my timekeeper?
Yes, sir. I don't believe I'll need 3 minutes this time, but I do have 3 things I want to talk about. First, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank you in this public forum for your work on what I believe is House Bill 438 that just got signed into law, increasing the penalties for shoplifting, as that could be such a detriment to our small businesses in our community. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Board of Aldermen, I want to thank you for your pledge there for the ADA park. I think, as I understand, that's something that's going to be really unique to our area. I think it'll be a nice attraction to our city, and it's certainly a benefit to our youth that may have disabilities in a place for them to go and to enjoy. Third thing, I hate speed bumps. Raise the fines for speeding, and you get them high enough, people will slow down. Thank you.
Great idea, Mr. Grant. That is great. All right. Dr. Shaw. Evening, Doctor.
Good evening. I'm Melinda Bell. I'm the Chief of Staff, so I'm filling in for Dr. Shaw. She had to leave, okay? So good evening. My name is Melinda Bell, and I'm the Chief of Staff to Chapter President Dr. Tamala Boyd Shaw. Please know that all the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Alpha Zeta Omega Chapter, sincerely thank the City of Horn Lake for their sponsorship of our very first Juneteenth celebration. Latimer Lakes Park was absolutely beautiful and perfect for the event. We also appreciate having the Horn Lake Fire Department, police officers, aldermen, and even Mayor Latimer himself to attend. Thank you, sir. As a resident of Horn Lake, I am especially proud and grateful for my city leaders, especially my chapter sister, Alderwoman LaShonda Johnson. Thank you all so much for your support and for all you do for our great city. We could not have done it without you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please convey our appreciation to all your members.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Kirby Carter. Evening, Ms. Carter.
I won't take the whole 3 minutes, although I thought I had it down because I had lots of notes. But I had to change it up. But I wanted to thank the board again for agreeing to move forward with the excellent opportunity to build a much-needed ADA accessible playground for Horn Lake while we have this price available, especially in a world full of inflation. I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but the Snowden Grove ADA playground costs $450,000. So $374,500 sounds really good compared to $450,000. And like Alderman Young said, I was looking, the Mississippi Department Wildlife Fisheries and Park, they have grants available, but so does Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. If you've never been to LaFleur Bluff down in Jackson, they received a grant for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi, and the park is amazing. We love to go every time we go to Jackson. I encourage you all to look on Facebook if you have it, or if you don't have access to look on someone's, go to Union County School District page on Facebook, go back to about mid-May. 2 teachers with a dream fought hard and wrote for that grant from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi, and now little bitty Myrtle in Union County has an amazing ADA accessible playground for their students and community in that area. Back in February of 2023, I was encouraged by this entire board to push on and to press for an ADA accessible playground at Shadow Oaks Elementary School, and I'm happy to say that playground is near completion. It's amazing, it's absolutely beautiful, and I encourage you all to go take a look if you get a chance, because if you build it, they will come. And we will have more families in our area that are going to look for things in our community outside of the school. If they have a playground that their kids can go to, they're going to want that for their kids also outside of the school. And lastly, I wanted to say Franklin Delano Roosevelt was our president during one of the toughest times in our history in our nation, and he led from a wheelchair. So just because you're disabled or you have a disability doesn't mean you can't do big things. And the more that we do to help promote the well-being of people with disabilities, then that's going to make a lifetime lasting effect on them. So this playground is going to have lasting effects for our Horn Lakes future. And I'll close with a great quote from the well-known professor, best-selling author, behaviorist, and autism self-advocate, Temple Grandin, PhD. I am different, not less. So thank you so very much, because all of our children, all of our people in our community, they might be different, but they're not less. So this playground is going to be a huge asset. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations on the playground at the school. Congratulations. Mr. Freeman, how are you, Mr. Calvin? Sorry. Oh, Alderman Dupree, I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell Ms. Kirby, we tried to get the Blue Cross Blue Shield Park. I got with Drew last year. He called, did some paperwork, what have you, but we did not qualify for that funding from Blue Cross Blue Shield. But we did try that.
You need that right. You need the right words.
Yeah. So anyway, we're still working on your stop signs.
Thank you. Mr. Calvin.
They're gonna be,
sir.
thank you, Mayor. Alderman, thank you for allowing me. First, I want to say, thank you guys for encouraging me to doing something in the community. I'm part of the American Legion now, and what we're gonna be doing for the 4th, maybe every federal holidays, we're gonna give back to the community. So if you got law enforcement, fire department, or anybody that needs somewhere to go, we're gonna be giving out hot dogs, popular hot dog, pulled pork, someone where they got come to eat if they can't be with a family, you know. But I want to share with you guys this 4th of July, I want to give back to the community. I'm doing some positive thing, and I'm pushing them in that building and getting some new blood in there. And it's all about Horn Lake. We got to have people to come to something here, and we want to put a landmark here, just like we had the national commander come here. But other than that, if you got anyone that's in need of going somewhere to eat for the 4th of July, they're welcome. We open at 3 o'clock, and about the 3 to 6, we're going to be giving out refreshments, then free of charge. You know, you meant to buy your, your sodas and stuff like that. But we might have water and, juice. But we welcome you, and we want to get back to the community. Because we've been doing a lot of little fundraising, helping out disabled vets and stuff like that. With that, thank you.
Thank you and all the members for providing those opportunities, but also thank you and all the members for everything they've done in protecting our freedom, because y'all sacrificed years of y'all's lives for us and for the whole town and for the whole nation. And the debt of gratitude, the thanks didn't do to us, the thanks is due to y'all. Thank you, Mr. Calvin.
I appreciate it, Mayor, but like I said, we got to get back to the community, because a lot of stuff been doing for the veterans, so we need to get out there and start doing stuff for the citizens of Horn Lake. With that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I guess you notice from these things, these actions of the board and the actions of our citizens, I'm going to steal a line from Mr. George and the Shriners. We gave because we care. If you'll notice, so many of our citizens care about our city and their fellow citizens. It's truly a joy to see that in a community. It's truly, truly a joy. Would you please be kind enough to pass that to Miss Julie? Thank you. All right. Mayor, Alderman correspondence, I want to thank everybody involved in the Juneteenth. Alderman Johnson, thank you for all you did, and for the police, the fire, the Parks Department, everyone for what they did for that event. It's a historic event. We had done it before, but the COVID hit, now it's started back up. I want to remind everybody, please, on July the 3rd, it's going to be our fireworks show and entertainment for the 4th of July. I believe the 41st Army Brass Band is going to be here. Festivities start at, what, 4 o'clock, Mr. Drew, 5 o'clock, what?
Yes, sir, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, fireworks at 9. So please come out and celebrate the independence of the United States of America. All right. Alderman Young, do you have anything, sir?
Just a couple of things, sir.
Yes, sir.
First off is Thursday night is the Optimus Club meeting here in this building. If you'd like to get involved in the Optimus Club, we start at 6:30. Second thing is the Juneteenth celebration. I want to thank you, Ms. Johnson and Chief. I was a proud sponsor of that event, and y'all have my support again. It was a good event. It was hotter than Hades out there, so you need to work on your on your hotline up yonder and maybe get some air conditioning turned on. But it was an awesome event. There were some really good people out there, something to be proud of, and I'm glad I was a part of it. Thank y'all so much.
Alderman Dupree, do you have anything, sir?
Yes, sir. I also want to say thanks to Alderwoman Johnson. It was hot Saturday. We got out there, we walked around, we talked, and it was a good event. I really appreciate that. I guess that's about all.
Alderman Johnson, you have anything, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I just want to reiterate what everyone has said about Juneteenth. It was a wonderful event. Thank you for those who showed up in support and sponsored. That really means a lot. And, you know, we all have to start someplace. It's been gone for some time, and bringing it back, it was a good feeling to have it back. And that's something that we need to think about in our city. Teaching culture to everyone. You know, it wasn't just open to one race of people. It was for everybody. And so that's one thing that, you know, that is, that's what our city is about. Lots of different people, lots of different things. So I appreciate you. Also, I just want to toot my own horn here. I will be graduating for the professional level at MML on Sunday. So COVID kept me from graduating with the basic level, so I have achieved basic, advanced, and now professional level in CMOs. Thank you.
And that's quite an achievement. That's a lot of work. Congratulations. I think Alderman Young's getting graduating too, aren't you? Yes, sir. I will be graduating. Anybody else going to be graduating? Or already graduated? Due to age? Is that what? Alderman Bostic, do you have anything, sir?
Yeah, as you well know, fireworks season is coming up, and I just want to make sure everybody is respectful to their neighbors and shooting their fireworks and have a good time doing it, to where we don't have any fires or anything that's kind of crazy out there with the fireworks. Also, if you see any negativity on social media, just make sure that you know that is negativity. I haven't lost my mind. Somebody posted today that Alderman Bostic's lost his mind. I definitely haven't done that. So watch out for the negativity on social media and the cause of somebody trying to do that to divide this city, because we're all here to represent everybody in this town. And I've done that from day one, and I'll do that to the end.
Alderman Geis, you have anything, sir?
No, sir.
Alderman Bledsoe, you have anything?
Yes, sir, I got two things. The first one, y'all know Francis J. Miller passed away, and I'd like to name the flower beds out front because he did a wonderful job getting the flowers and stuff. Name the flower beds, to put a little plaque in there, says Francis J. Miller Flower Beds.
We'll stick it on the next
Out
agenda
front.
then.
Huh?
We'll stick it on the next agenda then.
Okay.
Would you please, Mr. Jim and Miss Julie?
And the other thing, Vince, on our road, can you explain a little bit more about what's going on with it?
So I'm assuming you're talking about the connector road?
Yeah,
going from-
Interstate Boulevard.
Okay, so basically last meeting we talked about that, and the board decided to go ahead and move forward with extending that Nail Road to the east and around, curving toward Pepper Chase to the city limits. So we're going to be providing a proposal to do that work, which, you know, there's a little bit of front-end work that we have to do. It's not like we can just dive in and start designing immediately. We'll have to do a little bit of research to see if the proper environmental work has been done in that area, which I think it probably has, since Mr. Wilson has done work over there, and also Core 5. But we just have to make sure about that, and then, you know, we can start designing it and probably have it under construction within 4 to 6 months, probably.
Okay, and, would it be feasible to do part of the road to get his land unlocked? And then if South Haven ever decides, we can just go ahead and finish the other one? Or
Well, I
would
mean,
it be feasible just to do the whole thing at one time?
Well, I mean, that's the plan, is to take it to the city limits. And then once, if South Haven ever decides to connect to it, then it's just a matter of them, you know, connecting there for 300, 400 feet.
Well, the main thing, what I'm trying to do is get some road there, so the people that want to build on that property can get to it and build, and we start making money. And if we have to wait a year or so, you know, those people might go to the other way. So anyway, that's what I'm getting at. I'm gonna try to get it done as fast as we can, if any way possible.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna add that the existing road goes to the Wilson property line. They can get access.
Yeah, so we'll just extend it, just like Mr. Wilson asked, and we'll extend the road, and it'll terminate in kind of a roundabout or cul-de-sac. And from there, you know, it'd be easy to connect it up to Pepper Chase if everyone do that, or extend it south to wherever his development is.
That answer your questions, Alderman? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alderman Klein, you have anything, sir?
I would like to follow up with Vince on that. You had said something about, is a proposal. I thought we had said, hey, let's get it going. Are you going to have to, we're going to have to bid out the process or something, is what you're getting at, or?
No, sir, I was just talking about an engineering agreement to get before the board to authorize design.
So you're going to put together a design and bring it before us. When will you do that, you think?
Well, this is just the agreement for the design. So once we get that agreement in place, then we'll move forward with the design. And we can, that won't take any time.
That won't take, because you have it ready for us for the next meeting?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. That's the plan.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. Chief Pullen, do you have anything for the board?
Yes, sir, Mayor. I know a few people had asked, and Chief Brown did want to be here tonight before his retirement, but due to the death in his family, he wasn't able to make it, so he will be here July 2nd for that meeting.
Anyone have any questions or comments for Chief Pullen? Mr. Box, do you have anything for the board?
Just one thing to go back on with the, everybody's got the speed bumps and stop signs, opinions and negative and pros for that and all that. But do y'all want me to look into stop signs for, say, like LaShonda's area on Dunbarton Drive to add more stop signs or anything? I know that we can do that.
In other words, you're asking if the board wants you to make a study of it.
Yes.
And come back with your recommendations, whether they're needed or not needed, or
Yes,
whether they
if you
would
want me to-
improve,
if
would
you want
make,
me to look-
improve safety.
To strategically maybe place some stop signs to improve safety.
Is that okay for him to go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
All right, Alderman Bledsoe.
Did y'all get the stop signs down Kentwood?
Yes, they're there. We completely finished with that. They even got lights.
Okay, 'cause if, that's a good one to go by, see if it's working.
Yeah,
And if not, we'll put a speed bump up the stop sign.
I don't know if they're effective or not, have they been effective or not, but they're there.
Alderman Dupree.
Those signs are up because there's been quite a few people complaining about those stop signs in Kentwood.
What, having to stop?
Yes.
That slows them down.
It's on social media. Yeah.
I don't either, Alderman Bledsoe.
Mr. Box, last meeting, we spoke about, I asked the mayor if it's all right if you and I could go out. We haven't done that, so maybe we can do it when we get back from the coast. Okay. Okay, because there's been several close calls again, so we'll do it as soon as possible.
Alderman Boston.
Yeah, Steve, did you get the text I sent to the mayor about the sidewalk on Nell Road?
Yes, I got that. They'll be taking care of that first thing tomorrow.
All right. Also, 2760 Normandy Cove. At the end of that cove there's a gutter there that's collapsed. All the water from that whole cove, those 8 or 9 houses go into that, and it's actually, the metal is actually laying down. So if you could get that taken care of, I would appreciate it.
Yes, we'll get that taken care of.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have anything for Mr. Box? All right, Chief Limble. Oh, before we go ahead, I'm sorry, Mr. Box, aren't you having 2 of your department retire?
Yes, I'm sorry about that. I'm glad you brought that back up. Randy Joyner, my assistant director, and Reginald Riley, my meter reader, will be retiring at the end of this month. They'll be greatly missed. They're 2 great employees. Very thankful for their years of service here with Horn Lake. And we will be having like a little celebration for them Thursday at lunchtime at the shop.
This Thursday?
This Thursday.
So you're inviting us?
Inviting everybody.
Would you please extend to them the appreciation of the board and administration and the citizens of Horn Lake, our gratitude for their great service. Randy's been here how long?
Randy's been here 15 years, I believe.
And Mr. Reggie?
And Reggie's been here, I think, 8.
You would extend our gratitude and hope they enjoy their retirement.
I will extend it to them.
Thank you. Chief Limble, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Mayor. How about you?
Fine. Do you have anything for the board, Chief?
I do have a couple of things real quick. In your packet, I did put this in there. I don't need an answer tonight, but Mississippi Fire Academy elected official in public office is October the 24th. I did put it in it's in your packet. It may be in your electronics or wherever how you got your board packet. There is an application. I don't need a lot on that, mainly your name, just a little bit. I couldn't find the one for the elected officials because they don't ask that many questions, but I need your name, address, and a little bit if anybody would like to attend. You do get, I believe it's in that packet as well, 4 CMOs for that MML. It goes towards your education for that as well, if you do attend that. It is that one day at the Fire Academy. It's kind of like go learn what firemen do for one day. If anyone would like to go, I think it may have been the year before last, I think it was Alderman Young and Alderman Dupree. We went, we stayed the night before, we went over to the academy the next day, spent a whole day over there and then drove back. But it's whatever the board would like to do. You can make the trip in one day, but we do have to leave about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Need to be on the highway. But it's whatever y'all want to do on that. If anybody wants to go, just let me know. Maybe by the end of August. August be good. Last time they kind of canceled it. If nobody ever gets to apply for it, they kind of cut it back. But we need to let them know if we got anybody wanting to attend this, at least maybe by August. And then last, but we're doing Fire Academy for Kids this week. It's been a great week so far. We're on day 2 today, and we'll start day 3 tomorrow morning at 9. Hospital wing's supposed to come in, but I do want to invite everybody on Friday, since you're going to the shop Thursday, Friday, 11 o'clock, hamburgers, hot dogs at the fire station with these kids and the firemen to cook them for you. So if you can come to that, come to graduation. We'd like to have each and every alderman that can attend, please come. And we got a great bunch of kids. I think it was pretty close to 40. So we've had a good bunch. They've been having fun, and I hope the rest of the week can be just as good. That's all I got, Mayor.
Anyone have any questions or comments for Chief Limble? Alderman Klein?
Chief, you're gonna sign me up, I'm gonna fill out an app, and, I'm gonna hold you to, run you through that smokehouse with me.
I'll go in the front and I'll be at the back door when you get there. They'll lead you through it.
Anyone else? And if you do get a chance, please go and support the Fire Academy for the children. Like we said the last meeting, you learn a lot. I learned a lot, and it's a lot of fun, and the kids, I think, really appreciate you showing up. All right. Who is next down there? Mr. Coleman, are you next?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
Yes,
Board.
sir.
I do not have anything tonight, sir.
All right, we'll have everything on the July the 2nd meeting then, for the announcing about the fireworks and the programs and everything for the park for the 4th of July.
Yes, sir, yeah.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Mr. Coleman? Mr. Vance, evening, sir.
You know, Mayor, just a couple of things here real quick, Mayor, that I want to bring your attention to is, you know, we've been talking about these ARPA projects and the deadlines that we have for these, and one of the deadlines we had was August the 30th, as far as getting our projects obligated. And at the time, obligated means we had to have a contract with a contractor in place by that August 30th deadline. Well, legislature has now deemed that if the city will sign a MOU stating that they will use these funds that they receive from ARPA and MCWI, if they will use those funds as indicated on the sub-agreement that we receive for each one of these projects, they'll sign an MOU, then that will cause these projects to be obligated at that point. So we don't have to worry about that anymore, and that basically takes the risk out of the city, away from the city, as far as possibly losing any of these funds by doing that. So it's almost a no-brainer, I think, to do this. So what I was going to say is I would recommend that the board go ahead and move forward with these MOUs, and you have to have one for each project. So I would go ahead and develop these for probably our next board meeting. If the board so wishes, I'll provide these, and we can get those approved and get them uploaded to the portal and have those in place and take care of the August 30th deadline.
So you're going to prepare them and present it to the board, is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. It's just like a 2-page deal for each one, so we'll get that done.
All right, sir. And do we need a motion on that, Mr. Billy? This is the MOU.
I think he's gonna provide them at the July 2nd meeting, and we'll approve them then.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and then we did take bids on one of the ARPA projects yesterday on Holly Hills water treatment plant. Unfortunately, it came in at almost twice the budget, and we only had one bidder. So with that said, that pretty much puts us in the category of having to re-advertise because, in speaking with Mr. Campbell, it's state law that you pretty much have to do it with those circumstances. So we will be recommending that to be, that bid to be, or that project to be re-advertised. And I'll probably have that for your next board meeting too, to make that recommendation. And then, you know, why did it come in so high? It's probably the market right now, but having only one bidder, you really don't get a good cross-section of what the market is at this point. So that's another reason we probably want to re-advertise it anyway. So we'll be providing a recommendation on that next board meeting as far as how to move forward with that. And then I wanted to mention that the signalization at Nail and Interstate Boulevard, that project is bidding this Friday at 10 o'clock. So hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll have two recommendations. One on the Holly Hills, and then this one, hopefully we'll be able to move forward with it on the signalization. And then immediately after that, we'll have that striping and we call it striping and signage at the same intersection, which basically is going to take care of the issue we're having now with, the barrels out there and that kind of thing. We'll do some striping And this will be the final permanent striping that will go down, and it will be in place. And so when we get our signals in, everything will be fit just right. So that will happen probably within another week as far as getting it advertised. So the thing is, you know, the signalization project is going to take probably 9 months to get the poles in. So we'll have this striping and signage done before that gets in, and should work pretty good for us, hopefully. That's all I have, Mayor.
Good news. Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Vance? Mr. Andrew, do you have anything for the board?
No, sir, I do not.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Andrew? Mr. Robinson, do you have anything for the board?
Yes, sir. A couple things. We have started the budget process for 2025. The department heads have, been working on their departments, and hopefully we'll have something for you to look at after we get back from MML, and then begin with some budget workshops. I would, if you do have some things that are on your mind, please let me know. I have heard today, grant writer, those type of things that come up affect the budget as we move forward. So just the preliminary numbers that I've gotten, we kind of got to look at some things because we have more requests than we potentially have funds right now. So, we're still working on tweaking some things. I'd asked the department heads to look at a couple different options. A flat raise like we've done in the past of like 2,100, and then a 4% option. But we're still trying to look through there, and I know some of you all have opinions on that. But we will hopefully start some budget workshops in July after the coming back from MML. One thing that came up today in some of our discussions back and forth with the animal shelter, we will potentially have a groundbreaking ceremony if it all works out. I was waiting for Murphy and Sons to get back to me on July 2nd before the board meeting, potentially around 4:30 at the location where we can have groundbreaking and then come up here for the board meeting. So we'll see about that. They're projected to start on July 8th, actually, moving dirt and building. So keep that in the back of your mind for July 2nd. We have some numbers for year to date. You had those in your packet. Still a little optimistic on some of our large revenue sources. Obviously the ad valorem, we had budgeted $8,948,000, and we're $1.7 million away from making that. So that's I think going to be a stretch. Sales tax, we had budgeted 7.55, and we're about 2.4 away from that. So hopefully sales will be strong in the summertime. It's always strong right before school, so hopefully we'll see those sales tax bump up before school starts. School's starting a little earlier this year, so hopefully we'll get those coming in here in July and August. The next month, July, is our last installment for the internet sales. We have one comes in January, one comes in July. And both of those now, since we're at 100%, are a little over $1 million. So we should be seeing another $1 million come in for internet sales that you all have earmarked that money for the street maintenance project. So along with what we have had from years past, we had budgeted a little over 3.5 million for the street projects. So we're hoping, Vince and I met Friday on all these projects, from ARPA to lift stations to street projects, and we're hoping to continue street projects just for the citizens, over 3 million every year for as long as we have the internet sales. So hopefully that will continue until we pave every street or seal every street in Horn Lake, and then we'll start over and do it again. So looking forward to continuing those projects, but did want to give a little financial update and also tell you that we have started the budget process. Also, I know we've had questions about the LED lighting all around the city. I mean, if you go out here tonight and you look down some of the side streets, you see those old yellow glowing lights. The RFQ is out there. We're supposed to be collecting all of those on June 28th. So I have been contacted by at least 3 different companies that are going to bid on those. And once that project comes up, it's going to be for replacing all the LED lights in all the streets. So all these subdivisions that have those old yellow lights, it'll be hopefully brighten up the city all over, not just the main thoroughfares, but even in the subdivisions. And that will include new poles and new LED lights down Nail and Interstate Boulevard that we've been trying to get for a while. So hopefully we'll have some idea on direction to go on the 28th when we get those bids in.
Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
I want to thank you for pointing out to the administration, to the board, to the department heads that our ad valorem is less than was budgeted so far. And please remember that as we go into budget discussions for the upcoming year. We don't know how sales tax is going to be. It looks like it's going to be okay, but from what I've been reading, they anticipate nationwide sales retail sales really slowing down. So please, let's all of us keep that in mind as we work on the budget. Alderman Klein, you had something, sir.
Yeah, I got a quick one for Jim and then one for Vince from his conversation here. I've got 2 questions. On the Nail Road project, what do we have in the budget right now? 500,000, is that what you said?
The
interstate?
Chase, yes. Extending that road, we had 508,000 in the budget, and Vince and I were talking. I'll be putting some more in the budget for next year because, as he said, we're looking at 6 months before we can start that project, and then around that time the asphalt plants are going to shut down. So that project will go into next spring. So I am adding some into next year's budget. So these type of things are the big picture that a lot of people don't look at that affect our overall budget. But yes, we did have 508,000 in the budget this year, but we didn't get that quite off the ground.
So you'll roll that over if we don't spend it this year?
Well, what we talked about, we wouldn't need that high a figure next year. If we're going to put some money into it this year, that will go down. But it will be under, for next year's budget, under $500,000. Anticipating that we still get buy-in. The county had offered 300 or 350 towards that project.
Yes. And I have a question of Vince. Was on the street projects, you said something about regrading the roads. Did y'all do that this year as far as You know, how they run the cameras over all the roads?
Oh, yes, sir, that will be coming on, probably this fall before we do that. as far
Yeah,
as-
and that'll give us a good idea how our management process is going.
That's correct.
All right.
We started out to get our baseline, and now once we have gone a couple of years, we want to redo that and see where we are, like you said, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else have any questions? Alderman Bledsoe.
Hey, Jim, if South Haven don't come in, you think the county's still gonna give us some of that money?
I can't speak for them, but the mayor can have a more persuasive influence in talking to the county. Hopefully they will do that. I will mention also, our auditors are coming in. They're doing their field work Wednesday and Thursday this week. They're coming in. They've been compiling information, and tomorrow will be kind of the on-site work, and hopefully we'll have a good idea of when they'll be completing our next audit. So they're going to do. Last year they did 2 or 3 days on site. All the information that we've sent them, they've been working on, and they're going to come in and do their field testing. That's typical, where they actually see the actual documents that we've been providing for them, and talk to the staff and everything. So hopefully they've got good headway, and we'll be completing this next year's audit.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any questions? Ms. Julie, I believe you wanted to address the board.
I did, Mayor. In your packets, I gave you the MML packets. There is one correction in there. Mr. Vince said 5:30 is too early for drinks. He's pushing it back to 7 on Tuesday. So 7 o'clock for the Neil Schaefer event on Tuesday.
Saves you a good bit of money there, Mr. Vince.
Just kidding, everybody. It's not drinks. It's a work event. I'm just kidding. But everybody's shaking their head like, no. No, it's literally just a work event. But this list is not exhaustive of all of the courses and everything. You did get an exhaustive packet within the information you were provided tonight.
Anyone have any questions for Ms. Julie? Because some of y'all will be leaving, Sunday morning? Saturday? Mr. Robinson.
I will mention that I had sent out an email, and it was not on this list here, but on Tuesday, Raymond James has a reception. I had sent out an email for that, and it's from 4 to 6 before Mr. Vince's event. So Raymond James is the one that has done our last 3 bonds. They just did the animal shelter. They did the City Hall renovation, but they have a reception from 4 to 6. If you want to write that in before we go to meet Mr. Vince at 7 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. I had sent that, I forwarded that letter to each one of the aldermen. But before everybody gets the impression this is strictly one 4-day party, this is a chance to meet with like Raymond James, Neil Schaefer, ADSI, and believe me, sitting through those classes all day long, hour after hour, is no joy. I'm sure some of you have been through in your business experience those situations where everybody wants to think a conference is, hey, let's go have a good time. But you have to do an awful lot of work too, and I commend the ones that are going and for being willing to work so hard for our citizens. Mr. Billy, you have anything for us?
I do not, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Is there a motion for closed determination?
Mayor.
Alderman Geis.
I make a motion for closed determination.
We have a motion by Alderman Geis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all will excuse us for a few moments. Okay, we're back. Do we have a motion to come out of closed determination?
Mayor, I make a motion to come out of closed determination.
We have a motion by Alderman Geist. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Dupree. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Mayor,
Alderman Geist.
I make a motion go into executive session for item A, a discussion strategy session regarding prospective litigation involving one or more properties within the city.
We have a motion by Alderman Geist. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bostic. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please. Aye.
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 We have a motion that carried 7 in favor, none opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, again, please excuse us. We're back. Wow. We're back to have a motion to come out of executive session.
Mayor, I make that motion.
Motion by Alderman Geist. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Young.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree. Aye. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Klein.
Aye. Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. All right. Chief, we might be moving code back to you. Pardon? Oh, okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Alderman Bostic. We have a second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Klein.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Geis.
Aye.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Dupree. Alderman Young.
Aye.
Motion carries 7 in favor, none opposed. Ladies and gentlemen, this honorable board is adjourned till July the 2nd. Thank you for coming.